babe, we've got to talk about fear. Fear stops us from doing so much. And I would say that 95% of the time we don't even know that it is fear that is stopping us. And it's because we don't understand it. I've been inviting people to do transformational work for the greater part of 25 years, which makes me feel really fucking old, but that's a story for another day. And here's what I know. When you are saying to someone, your life can be better, you can be the impactful leader you want to be, you can have more space for yourself, you can have everything you wished for. Oh, look, don't get me wrong, they get really fucking excited about that. No doubt about it. But underneath it, there is fear. And not just fear, but 3 insidious layers of fear. And that shit can take you out of the game faster than you can even possibly dream of how much better your life can look. So let me talk to you about fear. Let me pull up a picture here. So there are 3 layers to the fear equation. The first layer is the obvious. That is the practical fears, right? Practical fears are those things you know you're worried about. And it usually does show up as stress, worry, anxiety. It's logic brain. These are the practical things. These are the things you know you're stressed about when it comes to making deep inner change. These are the things like, what about the money? Like, I'm stressed. Where's the money going to come from? Or, oh God, I don't know that I've got the time. These are the obvious things. You know they worry. They know they cause you stress. And for some people, that's enough to take them out of the game. They're like, you know what? I'm a bit busy right now. I'm not going to change my fucking life. And hey, look, if that's you, that's fine. Credit to you. You know, do your thing. For me, I'll always find the time and money to do something that feels deeply, deeply important for me. But then there's another layer underneath it. And this one is a little less conscious. This one lives in the land of our emotions. And it is the fear of identity. I have seen this with so many women over the last 11, 12 years in one of many. When we say, you know, step out of Superwoman, step into your soft power. You could shed some of that overburdened feeling. You could put yourself first for once. You could, you know, have some space to breathe. On the one hand, they're like, oh my God, yes, I need that. But on the other hand, there's these questions that pop up like, well, but if I'm not Superwoman, if I don't stay in this mode, who else is going to take care of absolutely fucking everything? Who else is going to make sure that, that there's food in the fridge and dinner on the table and money coming in and Johnny's been picked up and someone remembers to do the fucking laundry and God, what about the plumber and it's mum's birthday next week? And if I start setting boundaries, if I start shedding responsibility, if I start saying to my boss, no, sorry, I can't do that, who am I? If I'm not the person that does all that shit, if I'm not the person who puts everybody else first, if I'm not the nice person, well, then who am I? It's a fear of an identity change, but it lives in the land of guilt. But it goes even deeper. The most profound fear that I have seen women and myself, because let's face it, I face this one often and I'm right in it at the moment, as are so many of us currently because of what's going on in the world. It's an existential fear. This is the fear that if we make changes deeply, if we change who we are, like let's say I can come to terms with the fact that I might still be nice and lovely, even if I do change things at the level of my identity. Perhaps I could reconcile myself that I would still be a lovely and okay person. But if I become my true self, I mean, let's face it, you already know some of the things that your true self wants to do. Your true self probably wants to tell your boss to go shove it. Your true self probably wants to close the business that you're currently running because it's too fucking hard. Your true self would probably like to go and live in a fucking ashram in India for 3 months. Your true self probably wants to leave your spouse. Your true self quietly doesn't like your kids a lot of the time if you have them. Your true self gets the screaming irrits with one of your friends and would really rather you weren't friends anymore. So if you step in to your true self, there is this existential fear that it means you would have to blow up your whole life, that you would have to leave your spouse, move out from your flatmates, leave your work, close your business, give your kids away to whoever will take them. No, I'm being facetious, but I'm speaking the truth. You know how I know this? Because I do it. I let this existential fear of being my most true, radiant self take me out of the game often. I fear, what are you going to think about me? If I'm a sweary Australian, that is who I am at my core, what if you judge me? What if I'm not polite enough for you? What if at an identity level, what if you don't like me? But at an existential level, what if I have to actually end up leaving Greg in order to be my true self? What if actually my true self really wants to not work at all ever again? What if I have to blow up my life? And every bit more inner work that I do, there's more and more layers of that. But here's what I want to tell you. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been getting right down into the guts of it, right down into what is living in this place here, in this existential place. And every time I meet a little more resistance, I make friends with it. I allow my true self to expand into that place. And so far, the externals of my life look largely the same. Well, okay, let's be honest. I'm still married. I still run my business. I still have all my team. I still love my children. Okay, I moved country. There was a rather large thing as I stepped into it, but there is absolutely the possibility that you can become a more radiant, more self-expressed version of you without having to blow everything up. But first, you've got to accept the part of you that wants it. So babe, if you're looking down the barrel of doing some deeply transformational work this year, whether it be with us or with anyone, and your heart is calling you to it because the promise of it is that your life could be better in some way, then I invite you to sit down and ask yourself, what are the fears that are getting in the way? Because they'll be there. There could absolutely be practical ones, but you know what? They're the simple ones. Honestly, they are the simple ones. Everyone finds time to do what is a high priority for them. If it's a high enough priority, if you have a freaking heart attack, you'll find the time to go to hospital, right? Let's hope that we start listening to our hearts before it speaks to us that way. But we find time, we find money for those things that are actually critically important to us. But look under that. Is it identity? If I'm not this people-pleasing, martyring superwoman, then who am I? Maybe you can come to terms with that. But in your nervous system, there may be some fears, some existential ones. So while the practical live in the head, the identity ones live in your emotions, the existential ones, those suckers, they live in your nervous system. And you've got to shine the light bright. You've got to tell your nervous system, it's okay, I'm safe, and no matter what, we're going to be okay. We're stepping into the year of the fire horse right now. And I don't know if you've looked at the news lately, but it is a fucking clusterfuck out there. It has been coming a long time. It is getting very fucking messy. And the world needs you at the table. The world does not need you people pleasing. The world does not need you fawning. The world does not need you letting people get away with being dickheads. The world needs you fully, gloriously, radiantly, self-expressed, boundaried, contained, potent. It needs me that way. It needs you that way. I mean, if I can be really frank, we've let men with power rule this place for way too long, and look what they've fucking done with it. So your deep inner work, babe, is not just a nice to have so that you can have a beautiful, fabulous life. Yes, that becomes possible. Yes, you will have that. A greater sense of fulfillment in your life, communities where you feel you belong. Yes, these things are true, but the reason that the world needs you to find your soft power, the reason that the world needs you to do this deep inner work, because there is a source energy open and available right now that is the light. And if we can have more light workers who are potently bringing that energy into the world, in their organizations, in their family homes, in their communities, wherever in the world decisions are being made, we need your light. So, babe, I need you to keep working. I will keep working. I invite you to keep working. Don't let your fears get in the way. And if there's anything we can do to help, please reach out. Lots of love and keep shining.